Well, big development, viewers, and we've just got this even as we were having a conversation with the economists on the way forward on that special. We'll try and go back to them in a bit, but President Donald Trump has issued another executive order, and I think he's just trying to double down on his staring or his intimidation of Bharat. He slapped an additional tariff on Bharat, and that's another additional 25%. That's what he has done and said, 25% more tariff over continued purchase of Russian oil. Now, is this a justified stand? How is Bharat going to respond to it? And is Trump, who was evasive when questioned that he himself, that means America itself, is now continuing to import and continuing to do trade with Russia? Is it fair? What is going to be Bharat's response on this? Pallavi Ghosh joins us with more. Yes, Pallavi.
Okay, so this is something which the government was actually expecting, and I'm just going to quickly give you some points which we are picking up immediately from the government, saying that this doesn't really rattle us. National interest was and will always remain paramount. Whenever we were negotiating, what we were keeping in mind was that India will not negotiate on some of the items which are non-negotiable. That's one point. We have been reporting on that, farmers, MSMEs, and for example, GM modified food. But the sticky point between India and America was actually purchase of Russian oil. Now, over there, India has consistently called out the bluff by pointing out to America that you yourself purchase uranium and many of the Russian products from Russia. And why are you pointing it out at us? We saw the reaction of American President Anand when this question was asked of him. When it comes to Russian oil, we have been explaining consistently that it was America who actually endorsed India's decision to go in and purchase Russian oil, because that would have ensured that the global oil prices remain stable. India is not the largest purchaser of Russian oil. It's actually China at 47%. India remains at 38%. But more importantly, Russian oil is not a sanctioned oil, which means there is no sanction imposed on purchasing oil from Russia. Sanctions are imposed on purchasing oil from, say, Iran and Venezuela. We don't buy oil from these two countries. So we are following the global rules. It's countries in the Western Union or European Union and China who purchase oil from Iran and Venezuela despite knowing that it's sanctioned oil. They are the ones who should be held to ransom. But as far as India is concerned, negotiations still on. 25th August, Anand, the American negotiators as of now are coming on schedule. We can expect a statement coming out either from the MEA or from the Commerce Ministry, possibly later tonight.
Right. You know, in that elaborate tweet, that post that Rapid Response has put out on behalf of President Trump, now it says the ad valorem duty imposed in Section 2 of this order shall be in addition to any other duties, fees, taxes, exactions and charges applicable to such imports unless subject to the existing or future actions under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, in which case the ad valorem duty imposed in this order shall not apply. Also, he says that the ad valorem duty imposed in Section 2 shall not apply to articles that are exempted by 50 USC 1702B. And he's also saying that Section 2 of this order shall not apply to articles that are set forth in Annex 2 of the Executive Order 14257 of April 2nd, 2025, regulating imports with a reciprocal tariff to rectify trade practices that contribute to large and persistent annual United States good trade deficit. So that means that even though he's saying there is an additional ad valorem duty, it may not apply to all the exports that are going out of Bharat into the United States.
We also have to understand, Anand, that America is going to be perhaps possibly even more hurt than India in case trade ties between the two countries are jeopardized. I'll give a quick example which a top government official told me, and he told me very categorically, look at the production of iPhones, for example, in America. Indian labor is far, far superior to the Chinese labor as far as manufacture of iPhones are concerned. Now, in that case, if you are going to put these kind of tariffs, where does the Indian labor go? Not a very quick example I can give you, or for example, as simple as a child seat inside the car. It costs $490, one child seat. Now, if the tariffs are applied, for example, coming in from China, then it goes up to $920, which means, a new parents would have an objection to it. This is a very simple example which is being given out by India, that we are not going to be hurt. We already have kept a plan B ready. We've looked at other countries. The FTA, which was signed with UK, which you covered, Anand, is something which has bolstered and emboldened the Indian economy and our traders. So if anyone who's going to end up paying the price for this will be America, which perhaps explains why there will be a selective application of the new hiked trade tariff.